Hi guys, as I said in my 500 subs video, from now until Christmas I won't be starting anything new, so in this video I'm going to take a look at what I will be doing.
Scruffy Crow.
Okay, so for the next couple of months I'm going to be finishing off a few bits for armies that I already have. This will include units for K47, Warlords of Erewhon and Beyond the Gates of Antares. Many of you will have spotted the connection there. These are all games from Warlord Games using my favourite order dice system, and that's why I'm going to be calling this Warlord Winter. So I actually have quite a sizable force for each of these games. You can check out my Knights of Erewhon project on my channel. It was one of the first things I covered. And you can also look back and see the huge amount of metal beastmen I collected, also with Warlords of Erewhon in mind. Just take a look here, absolutely hundreds of them. So there's quite a few units here that still need finishing off, and I've got a couple of bits and pieces coming for the Knights, and at least one unit that needs finishing there. So a bit of work in Warlords of Erewhon. Next up will be K47. I've never really shown off any K47 stuff here or worked anything, but I've definitely got a few bits and pieces that need finishing off. And I'm probably going to do a video on just all my thoughts on the game and a real deep dive into this army. As you can see, British Army, and yeah, one or two little bits that need finishing here. And finally for Antares, I have these Boromites. So, in order to get these guys, I actually bought these all in one big batch. I sold a whole War Machine army of mercenaries all at once and replaced them during one of Warlord's sales with these guys. So this was me sort of unboxing them and getting them all ready. Just a massive haul. I've never really bought that many models all in one go before. And as you can see here, I've still got quite a bit to get through and paint. So I look forward to having a look at those guys again. So why do I have all these hefty tombs and all these big armies for these Warlord games? Well, there's a couple of reasons actually. First is this game system. I played K47 first because there was a guy at my local club who said, "Oh, would you be interested in playing some historical games like Bolt Action?" And I was like, yeah, maybe. I'll play a bit of Bolt Action. But I'd rather have a look at the stuff that Clockwork Goblin are kicking out, which was before they released this book. They were just add-ons for playing Bolt Action, as far as I understand. And we never really went anywhere with it. A couple of years later, same conversation, and we did start some K47, and I collected these guys. And I was just really keen on the rules. So far is that since then I have played a couple of games of vanilla Bolt Action and thoroughly enjoyed them, even though the historical gaming isn't really my thing. But not long after we started getting into that sort of stuff, I went to the Warlord Games Open Day and I had a demo of Beyond the Gates of Antares, and I was thoroughly impressed. Just the fact that it used the same base rule system as Bolt Action, but the D10s give that much more flexibility, and also the theming again. It is quite a dry sci-fi setting, which I can see wouldn't appeal to everyone, and it doesn't seem to have exactly taken off. I think this game probably deserves a bit more love than it actually gets, but it does seem to have a pretty faithful fan following. So quite some time after getting the demo game of this, I heard that Warlord were coming out with this, Warlords of Erewhon. As I understood it, it was going to be using the same rules as Beyond the Gates of Antares, but with a fantasy skin. Now, if anyone watches my channel, you'll know that fantasy is my genre. That is what I'm alive for. So I was thoroughly excited and got this book as soon as I could get my hands on it. And before I heard about this, K47 was probably my favourite game, because for me it blended the sort of tightness and the rules orientatedness of something like War Machine, which I was a big fan of before they ruined it with Third, and but the more sort of skirmishy games of other sort of little skirmisher games that I've been playing, and I really enjoyed the sort of the picking a dice from a bag ordered system. I think that works really nicely. So yeah, as I said, as soon as I knew that I was getting a fantasy skin of any variety, I was completely on board. And so far, the few games I have had of this, not been a letdown. So this is probably my favourite game. The Oathmark is trying to wheedle its way in there. So yeah, first reason is the game system. The second reason is actually probably Warlord Games themselves. For me, they seem like a very solid company. They're British. I've been to their offices, went to their open day, and they all just seem nice. They just seem they produce some quite nice minis at pretty reasonable prices. So a lot of what they do is the historical stuff, the pike and shot, and the ancient stuff, which I'm not particularly interested in. But the minis that I am interested in, so the World War II British that I've got, and a few bits and pieces I am impressed with. I've not really ever heard a bad word against them. I've had wrong parts before. My Merlin came with all the wrong legs, but their customer service is fantastic, and I was instantly sent the right parts like within a few days with no problems at all. I also had, when I bought my whole Boromite army, I also had a good bit of communication with the guy there, and he sorted me out with exactly what I needed. I know they're not exactly a small startup company, but they're not exactly a huge corporation either, and it does feel good to support a fairly small independent company like that. So I'm always happy to throw them a few quid. So yeah, for the next few months, probably up until Christmas pretty much, expect to see a lot more of all three of these. There'll be plenty of painting as I finish off the last few units that I've already bought. Hopefully some conversions and some other videos, and really hopefully a couple of battle reports here and there when I can get them. So if you're a big fan of any of these three, or anything else that Warlord does, please let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you want to see in regards to this stuff. And if you want to have a chat about any of this or show off your Warlord armies, join on the Discord. That link's in the description. Come let me know, show me some pictures, and join the conversation. I hope you're all going to enjoy what I've got planned for the next couple of months. And as ever, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.